What is happening in NJ Gaming Dude here, and I want to ask you, what do you guys think about the next Nintendo console? What do you think it's gonna be? How do you think it's gonna work? You got any ideas? I'd love to know. Because the thing is that supposedly the Nintendo Switch 2 or whatever the next Switch was gonna be was meant to launch at the end of this year, and it looks like it's actually been pushed to next year, actually Q1 2025, which is gonna be quite interesting. Though this is all sort of the rumor mill, this is all sort of insiders coming out and talking about it, and supposedly it's going to be around March, which kind of leans into the 2017 release of the Switch, unless the presentation was in Feb and then it came out in March, or the presentation was in March and then came out in April. I can't remember the exact dates, but there was a Switch presentation before the Switch released a month prior. So I figured that was kind of just worth mentioning or talking about, because it's just kind of like looking back at the history of like how announcements were done, and also kind of what the difference was, at least from recent history rather, because again, the Wii U was a massive flop that only sold 12 million units, which was actually, I think, more than the PS Vita, which is actually insane to think about. The Wii was gargantuan, and every household, their grandmother and dog, all wanted to play Wii Sports. So I guess we'll just go as far back as the Wii, just to kind of give an idea. And now the Switch is wildly successful, and in order to not repeat the mistakes of the release of the Wii U back in 2012, in order to not repeat those same mistakes, they are being a bit more careful with the next Switch. And we don't even know if the next device is going to be anything like the Switch, because again, when you look at the devices, they've been so wildly different. From, we look at the GameCube, for example, it was just a literal cube that played games. You put your novelty baby discs in there that because disc-based media was actually a thing around that time. You pop in the novelty baby disc and then that would play the game, because those discs were actually quite small. And then when we look at the next home console, it would have been the Wii. So after the GameCube was the Wii. Granted, we had all of, like, the GBAs and things like that. DS, GBA and stuff like that. We'll ignore the portable consoles and stick to just the home stuff. We had the Wii, wildly successful, and motion controls, very much something that brought the family in. The Wii U, it was a tablet and a device console thing, except that the tablet bit was unruly large, took forever to load, the UI was kind of rubbish, and the screen on the actual device was too small, and the whole use of the screen on the controller was way too gimmicky. Yes, motion controls was also gimmicky, but this felt much worse by comparison. And also the naming Wii U made people think, is that a accessory to the Wii? That was definitely something that genuinely didn't help matters. Then we come to the wildly popular Switch, was an evolution of the Wii, where you take both the console part and the portable, handheld part, and you just shove them together, and then you remove the portability just by putting it in the dock, where just whatever was on your screen on the Switch is now on the TV instead, which was a great idea. Without a doubt, it was a very good novelty that still kind of resonates even to this day, to the point where we have so many Switch similar devices, with the Steam Deck, with the Asus ROG, and with PlayStation trying to put their hat in, albeit in a very, very different cloud streaming kind of way, with what's it called? The Portal. Yes, the PlayStation Portal, that's what I was meant to say. But yeah, and at the moment, for all we know, in terms of unknown games, the main one is going to be Metroid Prime 4, but at the moment there is no news, no word on when it's gonna release, any information about it, or anything else in between. So that's kind of just interesting to know about. Again, that release date very much is TBA, and it is only announced to be a Switch release, and it feels like it has nothing to really do with the next console that is coming. But I hope that they're using keyword names like the NGP or the NX, which is what the Switch was previously called, but which was like its sort of project name almost. So I thought that was just like an interesting tidbit to kind of add in there for people who haven't, been around the, console rumor mill space for a while. NGP was on the Sony, so it was the next gen portable, but I digress. Let me know what you guys think about the new Switch, the history of the consoles for Nintendo, and kind of how they've been in the past. Because I'd be interested to know what you guys think with all of that said and done. Please like the video if you liked it. Subscribe to the channel, aiming for 200 subs by the end of the year. And I do upload every day, so I'll see you guys tomorrow.